Hey, what's going on out there? Steve Moy out of Boston. I'm here with the new Swift language. Downloaded the new Xcode today. Got the new iOS, the new OSX. For all you developers out there, I definitely recommend checking it out. We're on Yosemite here. And yeah, let's take a look at some of the code. Now if you look here, we have a variable str equals hello playground. Now if you remember before, you'd have to type something like, ns string, give it a pointer, str equals, and then you would either need to give it the alloc init. We're not doing that anymore. I mean, I guess you could even go this way. Now, another thing to notice, there's no semicolons either. What it does is the letters var is a variable. If you're going to go with the constant, you type in let. And with the variables, whatever you put in afterwards, it will just assume that's what you're working with. So for instance, if we want to give a variable number of records, equals 15, and we'll make a string here, make a constant string, let records word equals records. Now when we're combining those into one string, we might give it another let sentence equals I brought. When we're adding objects to the string, we give it the slash and put the variable in brackets or whatever it is, number of records I brought. So that'll give it the number, and then to get the word, not that it's necessary, but just for example, records word. Now this replaces the old putting a comma afterwards and then number of records variable. We don't have to do that anymore, which is cool. To the party with me. So that'll give us our string with both variables in it. When we are working with arrays, we do a little something different too. I mean, we'll take let's see, what can we use for an example here? Variable styles of music equals if you can tell, like the DJ, hip hop, dance, EDM, and you know what? I'm not sure if we do have any country fans, but it's okay, because if not, we're about to use that as an example to replace anyways. So when you want to take that, that fourth item and you want to change it, styles of music, number 3, remember it starts at 0, and then we'll give it the name rock. So that would take that array and change that instance in there. Now when you are making empty arrays, you can do something like see, it's a little buggy and slow, but let empty array equals string. Okay, so now we have the constant empty array an array of string with 0 elements. Another cool feature here is that you can actually sort of take a look and see what you have going on in here. I think it's a little buggy right now. I'm assuming they're going to let you see everything, but when you click on here, you can tell that you have to highlight to find it. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, let's also do a empty array an empty dictionary would look something like this. Give it a string and a float. And then we have a dictionary with 0 elements in it too. One other way to do an empty array, if we take the array we had from earlier, sentence. Equals, and just give it 2 brackets. I'm not quite sure what the error is all about, but that value sentence. Well, yeah, anyways. Okay, so yeah, let's move on to if statements. So we'll make a another array, call it BPMs. We'll give it 75, 80, 50, 120. I don't know what that's all about. And 130. Now we'll make another variable, tempo score. Maybe if you just want to track how fast or slow you're playing that night. And we'll make a for statement for speed in BPMs. If speed is greater than 95, we'll add 2 to the tempo score. Tempo score plus equals 2. Now, one thing you do want to keep in mind is spacing is very important here, where it wasn't as important before. If you go here, you'll notice you'll end up getting an error. Else tempo score, let's make it a 1. Okay, and then if you just give it the tempo score, okay, now let's also take a look at optionals. So this is a new feature in Swift. They didn't have it in Xcode. I don't believe they had it. So yeah, if we take a variable, give it a optional country. You want to give it its type, and if you add a question mark, you let it become optional. We'll give the country Australia, and we'll make a variable fact, which is a string. I like to travel. Now, when we make a if statement, we can also combine an if with a variable or a constant. We go if let name equals optional country. So that's the condition. If that condition is true, we'll change that fact variable to the sentence. I'd like to travel to the down the coast of, and then put our object in there, name. Now if you notice, I use name, which comes from the up here. Now the cool thing about this operational, since operational country is a string, it's not nil. If we define it as nil, optional, I'm sorry, optional country equals nil. We forgot the equal sign here. Let's go, buddy. Okay. So now when we have all our code, give this thing a minute to load up over here. But when the optional is nil, it's going to stop. The code will be skipped because the condition is false. So if you notice right now, it stops here and doesn't run the if statement. But if you take away the nil and leave it as Australia, then it allows the if statement to run, and you can use that variable or constant in the code below. I'd like to travel down the coast of Australia. So yeah, that should be about it for today. There's a lot to learn. It's a short time and a mix between having this new buggy software and an older slow computer. I know it wasn't the fastest tutorial, but I hope you learned something. Yeah, if you're in the Boston area, definitely hit me up. Or if you're a developer, designer, graphic designer, trying to get your networking game on too, hit me up on Twitter, Enlight21, also Instagram at just Enlight. And yeah, take care. Have a good one.